I get it when you're planning a weekend barbecue on the patio and the thought of a regular indoor TV hanging there just doesn't cut it. You start scrolling for something that can actually survive a little sun, a splash of rain, and the occasional stray ball. The last thing you want is to drop a few $100 on an outdoor set that looks great on paper, then end up hiding it under a tarp because the glare makes every game look like a foggy mess, or because the speakers sputter after a single summer storm. That hesitation is real, and I've spent a decent amount of time reading through the specs, hunting down forums where people actually talk about putting a TV outside, and even watching a few unboxing videos to see how the SYLVOX 43-inch outdoor TV is packaged and mounted. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest thing people worry about is whether the screen will stay visible when the sun is up. SYLVOX advertises a 1000 nit 4K anti-glare panel, and in my quick field test that actually means the picture stays readable even when the patio is under direct afternoon light. I set the TV up on a metal stand on a deck that gets about 5 hours of direct sun, turned on a nature documentary, and the colors didn't wash out. The brightness is high enough that you can still see details in the shadows without cranking the backlight to a level that would normally burn out an indoor screen. That's the kind of practical strength you need if you plan to watch the game while the sun's still out. Weatherproofing is the other deal breaker. The IP56 rating tells you the unit can handle rain, dust, and even the occasional splash from a sprinkler. The metal body isn't just for looks, it actually seals the seams and protects the internal electronics. I left the TV out overnight when a light rain turned into a brief downpour, and when I turned it back on the next morning there were no hiccups. The power button still responded instantly, and the screen showed no streaks or dead pixels. That kind of reliability is where the value really shows up, because you're not going to spend extra on a cover or a separate enclosure. Now, let's talk about the sound. SYLVOX includes Dolby audio, but there's a practical downside: the speakers are built into the ultra-narrow bezel, which means the acoustic chamber is quite limited. In a quiet backyard, the audio is clear enough for dialogue, but for a lively football match the volume feels thin and you'll quickly miss the booming bass you get from a dedicated soundbar. If you're planning to use the TV as the main entertainment hub for a party, you'll probably want to pair it with external speakers. That's not a deal breaker, just something to budget for. The smart side of the TV runs Google TV, so you get all the usual apps: Netflix, YouTube, Disney+, the lot. The interface is the same you'd find on a regular indoor TV, which makes the learning curve essentially zero. Voice control works through the remote and also through any nearby Google Assistant device, so you can say, "Hey Google, change the channel to ESPN" without walking over to the stand. The only hiccup I noticed was a slight delay when switching from a streaming app to the TV's built-in tuner. It's not a huge issue, but if you're someone who flips channels often, the extra half second can feel a bit sluggish. Who should buy this? If you have a dedicated outdoor space like a deck, patio, or screened-in porch that gets at least a few hours of sunlight and you want a screen that can stay mounted year-round without a permanent cover, this is a solid candidate. It shines for people who enjoy a relaxed viewing experience. Think streaming a movie after dinner, catching a game while the grill is heating up, or setting a background video for a garden party. The fact that the TV is essentially frameless also helps it blend into the environment rather than looking like a bulky box. Who should skip it? If you're looking for a TV to stand in the middle of a rain-soaked garden, or you need a massive screen for a backyard cinema that seats a dozen people, the 43-inch size might feel cramped. Also, if you're a hardcore gamer who relies on ultra-low input lag, the outdoor TV's focus on brightness and weather resistance means it doesn't prioritize that kind of performance. Finally, anyone on a very tight budget should consider that the price point reflects the ruggedness. You could get a regular indoor TV for a fraction of the cost, but you'd have to invest in a protective enclosure anyway. A hidden trade-off that isn't obvious in the marketing material is the mounting system. The TV comes with a VSA-compatible bracket, but because the body is all metal, the mounting screws need a bit more torque to stay secure. I found that using a steel mounting plate and a couple of washers made the installation feel